Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So I'm just going to continue from where I stopped the last time. So I've not yet imputed the contents for each of these grids right here. I'm going to just copy the content from here and impute them. So we are done imputing the content for each grid. So the next thing we're going to adjust is the phone breakpoint. And I just want to briefly explain something. Now this desktop breakpoint is known as the primary breakpoint, and these tablet and phone breakpoints are known as the secondary breakpoints. If we make any change to any part of this secondary breakpoints and we now later make a change here in the desktop breakpoint, that change won't be reflected to any of these breakpoints here. And that was what happened with this our phone breakpoint. When we change the padding for the hero section and we now later change the padding here, that changes here didn't affect this phone breakpoint. So there's a way we can fix this that can follow the primary breakpoint whenever we make any changes here again. So I'm going to click on the hero section of the phone breakpoint and then go to reset overrides. This reset overrides means that whatever changes we now make in the primary breakpoint will be reflected in the phone breakpoint. So if I click on reset overrides, you can see now that it has automatically been reflected. So I want to show you what this other one also means. This update primary. Now if I click on Ctrl Z on my keyboard and I click here again and I click on update primary, this means that whatever changes I made to the phone breakpoint will be updated in the desktop breakpoint. Let's see that. If I click on update primary now, you can see that this primary breakpoint now has been updated like the phone breakpoint. So I'm just going to click on Ctrl Z and use our reset overrides. So I'm still going to use the top padding because this is kind of much. I'm going to make it 128. Okay, this is fine. So the next one I'm going to edit is the navigation menu. If you can see, the blur only affected where the navigation menu stopped. That's 90% of this width. So we want the blur to cover the whole width so that we can only have our content in the middle here. So what we can do is to first of all lock our hero section with Ctrl L and going to our navigation menu. We're just going to click on it. Then what I'm going to do next is to click on all these elements and turn it to a stack. You're just going to click on Ctrl Alt Enter and then make this stack space between and change this to center. So we are practically interchanging what was here for this stack. So this stack now will fill this desktop variant at 90%. So I'm just going to give this a width of 90% relative, and then the desktop we're going to increase the blur a little bit. Mind you, large blur values can impact performance, so please take note of that. So I'm just going to give this a fill and use the opacity so that we can still see the blur, maybe 8%. Then make this 100% here. Make the width 100%. We can't make this fill because, as I said before, the position of this navigation menu is fixed, so it's not relative to this desktop breakpoint. That's why we can't make this navigation menu fill. So I'm just going to preview. Okay, this is good, but you can notice that this icon here is going under some of these elements, like this button here is going under it. So there's a way we can fix it. We need to come back to our canvas, and then we gave this hero section a z index of 1. The z index just means the order in which our elements will be placed on our website. Will it be placed in front or at the back? So elements with higher z index will be placed in the front, and those with lower z index will be placed at the back. So that's just what it means. So I'm just going to give this a higher z index. This already have a z index of 1. I'm just going to give it maybe something like 5. Since it's our navigation menu, I want to always see the content whenever we are scrolling on our website. I'm just going to preview again, so you can see that we don't have that issue anymore. So I'm going to check if our other breakpoints are okay. I'm going to click on show UI, going to the tablet breakpoints. This is fine, but we are having little issue here. It's not being aligned to the site. So I'm going to check for our phone breakpoint. Okay, our phone breakpoint is okay. Let's go back to the tablet breakpoint. So to fix this, I'm going to go back to our canvas, and I'm going to click on this breakpoint here. So what I explained about setting overrides for breakpoint also applies in our component sections. So now I'm just going to remove the padding here. So when we preview our website, now we are fine now with this. So I'm also going to change the padding for the navigation menu of the phone breakpoint also. I think we also made some changes before and it didn't reflect. I'm going to make this 0 and 0 also. So when we also preview our website for the phone breakpoint, we should have the uniform. Okay, this is fine. What I can also do is to reduce the top and bottom padding here. I'm going to come back here, click on this component and go for the phone, and then reduce this to maybe 9 and also 9. And when we preview and check back, okay, this is fine. This is better. So when you are building your website, these are things that you must constantly check so that you see if your work is good across all breakpoints. So we're going to continue by naming our layers. I'm going to name this section intro. Then I'm going to name this section process. I'm going to name this I'm going to name this intro process, and I'm going to name this main process. So the format I used to name my layers is for the section part, I first of all put section, so we can know that this is a section. And then for other stacks, I'll first put the main context before adding what the context is about. So for this intro process, this is the intro is the main context, and then the process is what is all about. So let's continue with our landing page. And we're also going to build this section. We are going to click on this section and duplicate it with Ctrl D. We're just going to change the content. I'm going to click here, then change the content. Also change the content here. So the next thing we're going to do is to build this grid right here. So I'm going to come here first, go to media, go to image, and then drag and drop it here. So I already downloaded these logos as images. I'm going to come here and then click on this image. So to add an image to our website, I'm going to go to where it says fill and then click on image. I'm going to choose an image. I'm going to scroll and then come here and open. I'm going to make this to fit. So we are good here. So I'm going to turn this image into a stack. I'm going to use Control Alt Enter. So I'm going to check the width and height of our reference website. I'm going to come here, then click here. I'm going to go to the component and then check the width and height, 528 by 372. I'm going to come back here and then make this 528 by 372. So I'm also going to check the width and height of this logo. So I'll come here, click here, and then go here. Now we can see that it's 300 by 120. I'm going to click here and then make this width 300 and the height 120. So this is fine. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to make this a component. I'm going to click on Control Alt K. You can name this as logo. So we're in our component panel. So the next thing to do now is to change the background color. You can scroll here, go to fill, make the background color to this. I'm also going to give it a border of this color, and I'm going to use it to maybe 9 and give it a radius of 19 or 14. So what I'm going to do now is to create a hover state for this variant, just as you can see here. So what I'm going to do is to click here, click on hover, then push this here and create a frame. In the frame, I'll give it a linear gradient to make this color, this color, and then I'm going to click here and make it like this. Then I'm going to add a blur. I'm going to go to filters, blur. I'm going to increase the blur. And then I'm going to add this here. So as you can see, the blur has been relatively positioned in this over variant. So I'm going to change this to absolute position. I'm going to remove the index and I'm going to bring it a little bit down. So I'm going to bring it down. So I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit. Let's see 0.5. Okay. I'm going to increase this a little. Alright, this is fine. So to preview this component, I'm still going to click on Ctrl P in our component tab. And then once we hover, you can see that the effect is being applied. So I'm just going to come back to our canvas, and then next thing I'm going to do is to delete this grid here, and then click on this, and I'm going to bring it to our section. So I'm going to duplicate this in 6 places, just like you can see here. So I'm going to turn this into a stack, and then make this a grid. So the next thing I'm just going to do is to create a variable so that we can add other logos. So I'm just going to come here, click on this image here, and where it says fill, I'll just click on fill, and then create a variable. Instead of color, I'm going to click on image. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to click here, and then now we can upload our image from here. So I'm going to just upload this one, and this. I'm going to upload this one also, and this one, and this one. So now we are done uploading our logos. So that will be all for this video. See you in the next one.